So, what can I say about Lizzie McGuire? Well, it aired for 65 episodes on Disney Channel from 2001 to 2004, starring Hilary Duff as an average teenage girl going through junior high school with her two best friends. And really, that's about it. I've heard some people give it shit for kind of starting the Disney Channel cliches where every show was a sitcom about a person with two friends who get into wacky situations, but most people look fondly back on it, including me. It wasn't the best show ever, but it was funny enough, it was likable enough, the acting was a bit hokey, but other than that it was pretty good. So when trying to find a bad episode of the show, a lot of people say Bad Girl McGuire, and while I wouldn't really call that a good episode, I didn't really find it awful either. And really, where's the fun in taking on an episode everyone hates? So let's go with another episode from Season 1, Facts of Life. Ha! Okay, to be fair, the comedy in this episode is actually pretty good, but the moral and plot are so screwed up that it earned its place for a review. We start with Gordo and Miranda in a choir that can't hold a note to save their lives. Now you may be wondering why a smart guy like Gordo with no singing abilities is in a choir.
All this stuff.
Well, why'd you sign up then?
Because I need a non-academic activity on my school resume to impress charter school admissions officers.
Now the reason I bring this up is because after practice, Lizzie comes in and says they should all join the Factathlon, an academic competition, which pretty much makes the first minute of this episode completely pointless.
Gordo's already squashed by all the schoolwork he does. Why would he sign up for an academic competition that would put even more pressure on him? It could kill him.
Winner's gonna go to Miami.
Miami? Oh, Gordo, you've got to win this thing first. You've got to study, and you've got to win.
Ah, Gordo, you have the best friends ever, using you when you're already overstressed to win a trip to Miami. Gordo realizes that the Factathlon may be good for his resume, which again goes against what he said earlier, and they agree to study hard and stay focused. Alright, hands up, who knows how this episode's going to go down? Alright, to be fair, the show isn't known for being unpredictable. Lizzie and Miranda try to study, and we do get a few funny lines between the two. Gordo arrives and tells them that he signed them up, but they need an advisor. They want Mr. Stoico, but Kate, Claire, and Tudgman already got him, so they decide to get Miss Trimmer, the tough but fair teacher at the school. Also, we get this joke.
What does a cannibal call a phone book? A menu! Now that is a joke.
Can I really call it a bad joke if the episode itself acknowledges that it's a bad joke? Now on to the subplot with Lizzie's little brother Matt. Him and his friend Lanny are starting a band and need some instruments, so his dad lets him use his guitar from when he was in the band. And what is this? I don't even. Back with Lizzie, they start working out a schedule when their substitute teacher, Mr. Dig, walks in and says Miss Trimmer has left the country. Why? I don't know. And you would think if she knew she was leaving the next day that she wouldn't have agreed to be their supervisor, but Mr. Dig says he'll fill in for her.
I was good enough to tutor Christina Aguilera in Spanish. I was good enough to tutor the governor of Michigan in economics. I was good enough to tutor Ben Affleck about Pearl Harbor.
Oh God. Guys, get a new advisor. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't even have a teaching degree. Matt and Lanny decide to hold auditions for a third member, and we get this long, unfunny montage of people either failing or just not looking cool, I guess, until they find their perfect drummer in the form of Rick Marotta. Yep, the same guy who worked with people like Stevie Nicks, Aretha Franklin, and John Lennon.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, it's like putting Misty May Trainor in Wizards of Waverly Place. Most kids aren't going to know who he is, and if you do, is it really worth it? Although he does impress them enough to get in the band, and he does have a few funny lines in this.
Hello? Dad, I got the gig.
Lizzie and Miranda are intimidated by Kate, Claire, and Tudgman, and here's where the moral starts to get a bit muddled. Taking the other episodes out of this, where Kate and Claire are basically bullies and Tudgman is a know-it-all, we have no reason to root against them. They are doing this solely to go to Miami, but so are Lizzie and Miranda, so why are they that much better? This may not seem so bad now, as they are both working hard to achieve their goal, but it gets much worse later. Anyway, the three head to Mr. Diggs' classroom, and instead of teaching them anything, they start playing blackjack.
Maybe Mrs. Trimmer didn't explain the Factathlon to you, but it's intense. We have to study.
Yeah, very good. You just explained why the premise of this episode doesn't work. I guess it's supposed to be like a Karate Kid type of thing, where tasks that don't seem like they should help actually do. but that will all come crashing down in the end. We then get a montage of them doing stupid things like eating turkey, dropping things off buildings, and tormenting Kate, Claire, and Tudgman. So what are you trying to say? That studying hard is a waste of time and you should just goof off in order to learn? Seems that way with Kate's stress mark. Back with Matt, him and Laney are trying to come up with a name for their band, but decide to just start practicing. Yeah, they're not very good. Still better than Dexter's rap though. Finally, it's time for the Factathlon, and there seem to be only 2 teams, which might be how it works, but that just strikes me as weird.
Shouldn't you weirdos be out playing dress-up or something?
Listen, Twitchy, you guys are going down faster than a watermelon dropped off a building.
Yeah, well, you guys were studying stuff. We're living it.
Again, who am I supposed to be rooting for? So the choir teacher is the one reading the questions. Okay. As the competition starts, the unexpected happens. Lizzie, Miranda, and Gordo get their asses handed to them.
What year did Abraham Lincoln sign the Emancipation Proclamation?
He signed it so that abolition would become an actual issue of the Civil War and to show that he was confident in the Union Army after the Battle of Antietam.
We're looking for the date.
Oh, right, the date. Pass.
September 22nd, 1862.
Yeah, it's pretty painful to watch. Still less painful than the ending to Bad Hair Day, and after a while they agree with me as Gordo fakes a heart attack and Miranda pulls the fire alarm, and the 3 escape. Back with Matt and Lanny, which I kind of find it a bit weird that Lizzie's parents didn't come to see her compete, especially since life at home is just a loud off-key disaster. Matt comes in for snacks and his parents tell them basically that he sucks and he should quit.
Are you saying we should quit?
No.
Well, yes.
Haven't you guys always told me that if you really love something, you should stick with it, no matter how long it takes?
Yeah, you know what? We have always said that, but the thing is, we were wrong.
Dead wrong.
Get him lessons. Tell him he has to practice somewhere else. You don't have to tell him to give up. Back with Lizzie, Miranda, and Gordo, who aren't being told off for pulling the fire alarm when there was no fire, are then forced to listen to the gloating of Kate, Claire, and Tudgman.
Well, it looks like you didn't bury us.
We buried you. I gotta hand it to you. It's not often that students do so bad that their teachers quit.
What? Mr. Dick's quitting? That's what he told Mr. Escobar.
Good! He's not very good at this teaching thing. Matt and Lanny hold a background band party, which, by the way, guys, you can just tell him no, he has to play somewhere else. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be too hard to find a place to play some music. And against all odds and all probability, they are good now. Although Matt's voice is a little annoying and the lyrics are incredibly repetitive, but hey, still better than the CMC's first performance. Oh, come on! Now I'm just referencing episodes I didn't even review. Alright, as you can guess, the episode so far hasn't been that terrible. So, can you just tell me when we get to the really bad part? Okay, fair enough. Matt's parents congratulate him and ask him what he's going to do next, to which he says he's done with music, and wants to move on to something else. So yes, the episode itself says how pointless this subplot is. And now we get to the part that really pisses me off. Mr. Diggs starts packing up his stuff. Again, that's good. They didn't learn anything from him.
I wouldn't exactly say we didn't learn anything.
I learned how to play green sleeves on an auto harp.
And I learned that it's good to split 9s when the dealer has a 5 or 6 showing and there are no other 10s on the table.
Actually, I learned a lot. Like the Middle Ages smelled terrible. And you were lucky if you lived to be 30 because there was so not any hygiene.
And it didn't matter that Galileo proved Earth isn't the center of the universe. That meant nothing unless the political powers would let him tell people.
And that wasn't going to happen because then everyone would be out of a job.
I always busted my tail for school. I never knew it could be fun before.
Or interesting. Yesterday, I got a book on Queen Elizabeth I out of the school library.
Alright, it's true that learning can be fun and you can't learn everything from a book. But that doesn't stop the fact that you didn't learn the right material. Learning how life was back then is important, and in a way it is more important than learning when or where something happened. But you need balance. You need to learn both these things. You can't just slack off and pretend that you were the smartest people in the world, or else that makes you come off like you have massive egos.
Well, I guess I didn't do such a bad job after all. In fact, you should be thanking me.
Bullshit.
Well, I wouldn't go overboard. We did want to go to Miami.
Yeah, we'll thank you if we survive the gloating Kate does when she comes back from Florida next week.
And of course, 1 week later, it turns out they had a miserable time. Kate got bitten by sand fleas, Claire stepped on a sea urchin, and Tudgman got sunburned. So once again, kids, studying is bullshit. If you are having fun while learning, that means you're an awful person, and karma will come back to bite you in the ass. However, if you slack off, don't study, and annoy people who do study, then that means you're a better person.
Thanks, Mr. Dig.
Don't mention it.
Yeah, they really shouldn't, because you suck. As Thus is ending. Still better than the ending to Foster's Goes to Europe, and oh god, I will get to that. But first, let's finish this. Well, it does have its funny moments, and I could see where they were trying to go with the moral. It just doesn't come off right. If you wanted us to sympathize with Lizzie, Miranda, and Gordo, give them a better motivation than they want to go to Miami, since that's the same motivation as the supposed villains. The subplot with Matt was completely pointless, but the ending was the worst. Yes, you can have fun while learning, but if you don't actually learn anything besides the fact that living in the past sucked, then it probably would have been better to just study. It's just not very good. But like I said, most of the episodes are pretty decent, and most, if not all of the episodes, are on the Disney Channel show's YouTube page, which I will put a link to in the description. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. If not all the episodes are on YouTube channel. How did I mess up that? How did I forget? But most people look family. I cannot. Hello? Wondering why a smart girl. Why do I keep saying review? Yeah, to be fair, this episode. Can I really call it a bad joke if the episode itself acknowledges that it's any kid who knows that they didn't learn anything. I hate lines.